Hello everybody, just a quick, well I always say just a quick video and it ends up not being, but a quick video with our weigh-in for Shedwars. We ended up with 56.85 kilos harvested over the season. So that was our eggs from our chickens and our pumpkins, tomatoes, what else did we have? Watermelons, all the leafy greens and all that sort of stuff, some eggplants in there, lots of zucchinis in there, some cucumbers, corn, goodness, I can't remember all the stuff that we harvested over the season. We're getting into planting our leafy greens at the moment for winter. So our kales and just ignore my cat in the background, she's caught a mouse. We've got a mouse plague here in Queensland at the moment. And she's just letting me know she's caught one, which is fantastic. She will enjoy that, I'm sure. But I really don't need to know about it. I don't think she realises that. Anyway, that's my cat going off in the background. So I think that was a pretty good year, really, considering all the tests we had with drought at the start of the season and recovery from the bushfires that we had about 18 months ago now, I think, or something like that. We had the whole food forest burnt down, and so we didn't get any like fruit production out of that from the fruit trees because they're all babies at the moment. We did get a few pears, but I didn't weigh them because they were tiny and I didn't actually want them to be on the tree because I want to encourage root growth, not fruit growth. So I actually fed them to the horses and didn't bother weighing those pears. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good year, and I want to thank everyone on the team Southern Cross, and yeah, it was just a fantastic opportunity and fantastic thing that's been set up for us to have a bit of a challenge for the season, and I was quite happy with our results at the end of the season, considering we did have all those challenges at the beginning. But yeah, that's quite a lot of food when you think about it, and I'm actually doing my PDC at the moment, permaculture development course at the moment, and yeah, it's been really interesting and learning a lot more about how to utilize what we have naturally to grow more food and those sorts of things. I have done a lot of permaculture stuff before, but I thought I'd better go and do the actual course and learn the in-depth stuff. But anyway, yeah, so we were actually talking in that course, that was kind of my point, about how to get through natural disasters and things like that and have them not impact us too much. And I think personally we've done pretty well. I mean, that's a fair amount of weight in that food. We don't process any meat here yet, although I do have turkeys now that we will probably process the turkey pullets when they get older. Of course, we've got breeding stock at the moment, so that'll be our breeding stock, and our bug eaters, and then the chicks that they have, because they have quite a few chicks at a time, will then be processed and sold as well, for other people to process if they like, or use as breeding stock or whatever they want to do with those turkey pullets. So that's an interesting thing, and we do intend to possibly get some chickens, some meat chickens, some Cornishes in, and see how they go, or maybe even like a multi-purpose chicken could be a possibility. We haven't sort of looked too much into the breeds of chickens, so if anyone has any advice on that one, that'd be awesome. We do have some Isa Browns at the moment and some Isa Blacks that are egg layers, and they're actually at my parents' place at the moment because we had a tree go through the chicken coop. So that wasn't very permaculture because we had to move them off the property. But anyway, that's fine. We're sorting that problem out, and they can come back soon if they want to, or Mum and Dad might like to keep the chickens and we can get new ones. That's not a problem either. So anyway, that was our season, and like I said, it's been a fantastic experience and a great opportunity. And if you're thinking about doing it, just get on and do it. I mean, I'm just a backyard hobby farmer, if you like. I'm not here to make, heaps of food, or there's only 2 of us that live here, so I don't need, ridiculous amounts of food to feed us all, because there's only 2 of us. Including the dogs, there's 4 of us, but anyway, the dogs get some benefit out of the garden as well. But yeah, just doing it as a bit of a hobby, really. The garden gets very much neglected sometimes because I just get too busy. I'm studying naturopathy at the moment and doing my permaculture development course as well, and working as well. I'm a massage therapist, so doing that as well. So, there's lots of distractions, lots of things going on. Plus, we do a lot of horse rescue and things like that with ponies and stuff, and there's that going on. And yeah, so we're very, very busy people, and the garden kind of is like second to all of that. So it does get neglected at some stages throughout its season, and it does quite fine because we've got that design in place to sort of get us through. So I was quite happy with those weights. I was quite surprised, actually, because you don't realise how much. I mean, the pumpkins weigh quite a bit, and we did harvest a few of those. So there was a pumpkin there that was 5 kilos just in that pumpkin. So that brought the numbers up a bit. And watermelons are quite heavy as well. So, there's certain things that have got more weight in them than others. But yeah, I was quite happy with all of that. We did have a zucchini too that was 3.5 kilos. So I thought that was pretty cool. We stuffed it with some mince and some cheese that we got off a local goat person that does the cheese just as a hobby. It's not a business or anything like that, but we can get the cheese from them. And just put some flavours in it, and it was really nice. Stuffed zucchini, because that's all you can really do with the bigger ones. Or you could make zoodles. We did a lot of zoodles, zucchini noodles, as well, because we had so many zucchinis at the start of the season, and towards the end of the season now we've got lots of pumpkins. I did Queensland Blue this year, but I did butternuts last year, and I'll probably do something else next year. I don't know. I might just do the blues again. I've got the butternut seeds from last year still, but we only do one variety per year, so we don't get that cross-pollination. So when you put those seeds in, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get the same pumpkin. And the butternut seeds were actually seeds I had from Brisbane, I think, originally, or they might have been out of a store-bought pumpkin, I can't remember now. But anyway, they were definitely butternut pumpkins that happened. And then these Queensland Blue seeds were out of a pumpkin that we had a couple of years ago that I grew here. So the germination's a lot better and stuff when you collect your own seed, but you just have to be aware of what's around it that could possibly cross-pollinate with, because they do cross-pollinate with cucumbers and squash. The cucumbers they'll do that year, so you'll end up with these weird fruit on both the cucumber and the pumpkin plant. But yeah, squash and things like that will just pollinate the seed. So you're right until you go and plant the seed, and then you're going to get some sort of cross. And it's not always a bad thing, but I like to try and keep it fairly original if I can. So I'll plant things like that further away from each other, so that we're not getting that cross-pollination issue, and we're getting true sort of fruits off those vines. So yeah, just a bit of a tip for you to make sure, if you're going to collect your own seed, that you've done your research and you know what cross-pollinates with what and how it works. Does it cross-pollinate for that season? Like, are you going to get a strange fruit that season from that cross-pollination, or does it just cross-pollinate the seed and then you end up with weird things the next year when you go to plant that seed? And if it does either one of those, you want to kind of avoid that if you can, and plant at least, I think they say at least 50 metres from each other, so that you don't have that issue. Ours is probably about 100 metres away from each other, because we've got 5 acres here, so plenty of room to spread things out. And we've got so many bees here, quite a few hives actually of native bees, so they tend to not cross-pollinate too much, because they sort of just hang around where they're situated. And I don't know, they might get territorial. I don't know a whole lot about bees apart from, some species when I see them. But I don't know much about their habits, whether they're territorial, but I imagine they would be. And so they sort of keep to their own area, and then we don't have those cross-pollination issues. So that's another thing to think about too, is what you're going to get. And yeah, pest issues this year were not too bad. We do have some aphids in the greenhouse, unfortunately, that I'm actually going to spray tomorrow with some washing detergent and garlic. I'm going to mix that up tonight and leave it just ferment for overnight, and then I'll give it a good spray tomorrow and kill all those aphids, hopefully. I did let the turkeys in there to kill some, but, you know, there's some they can't reach and things, so I'll go back out there and spray it tomorrow. It's only one plant, luckily, so we've been blessed in that regard that it hasn't spread anywhere else. And then we've got the turkeys, because we do get a lot of grasshopper pressure and slug pressure on the greens in winter, or well, in summer, when they're or spring I should say, or autumn, when they're sort of preparing to grow through the winter. They get a bit attacked by the slugs and whatever else creepy crawly grub things that are there. But yeah, we haven't had too much pest pressure, and I think that's to do with the turkeys being around eating a lot of that. Even though there's only 2 of them, they do eat a lot, so we've sort of had less of that pest pressure. We've had a lot of butterflies and stuff, which is nice. But yeah, all in all, a pretty good season, really. And it surprised me how much we'd actually harvested. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Lynn and Wayne, for putting it on and doing such a great job. I know I've been a bit off the wire, so to speak. I'm very sort of off the grid with communication. My email is terrible, and, you know, I'm pretty shocking at sticking to times and things like that. So thanks for putting up with me, and for putting this on for all of us. And yeah, we might see each other next year maybe, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm thinking that it's up and up from here. We've fireproofed our place, we think, and so next time the fires come through, which is probably inevitable with our changing climates and things, it should stay away from the food forest. So we'll, you know, that theory could always be tested, but it should be sort of slowed down and, you know, permacultured away from the fruit forest, so that doesn't burn next time. So, you know, you learn from your failures, I suppose. And yeah, anyway, I will cut this off now, because I did say it was going to be short, and it's not really that short, but I'm sorry about that. Anyway, have a really good time, and I hope everyone else had a really good season, and we do well in our final weigh-in and tally up and all that sort of stuff. So well done, guys, and yeah, this is me out.